You can always take layers off, but if you show up without layers and then it's cold, then you're in trouble. 57. I mean, the weather is ridiculously nice.
Well, it was about 20 degrees colder on Friday watching the Patriots practice, so we've got a beautiful day here for football.
Yeah, we'll see how these two get along. And as Kurt said at the beginning of our telecast, it's the very good and top-ranked defense of Detroit against this high-scoring offense of New England. Patriots won the toss. They deferred. Lions will start at their 20 as Jeremy Ross takes a knee in the end zone, and the 7-3 Matthew Stafford-led Detroit Lions come to the field offensively, and there you go, fastest to 20,000+ yards. Took him only 71 games. He had that big year in 2011, but the numbers and the offensive stats have not been there really for the Lions under first-year coordinator Joe Lombardi.
Well, a lot of moving parts. A lot of guys have been in and out of the lineup. Key players for this Lions offense. Reggie Bush missing again here this afternoon.
For the last 5 games. Bell starts in the backfield, quick throw, and that's Tate. Golden Tate, what a start. And he is ripped out of bounds out across the 40. They're going to mark him at the 44. And for a guy who was only targeted 2 times out in Arizona, and a lot of grumbling about that first play, here you go.
Yeah, targeted 2 times and caught both of those passes. Good things happen when you get the ball into Golden Tate's hands, and you start to think, as inconsistent as this offense has been, where would they be without Golden Tate? I mean, he has stepped up and has been a really solid player for this team.
The world champion Seahawks a year ago. Here's a handoff to Bell. And Joyke Bell right up the middle. Stopped with a gain of 4. How about some other faces and names on the offense for Detroit around Matthew Stafford? We just saw left tackle Riley Reif limp away. And with that, Cornelius Lucas has taken over at left tackle. But you see Calvin Johnson, who's missed 3 games, so the numbers are down, but he's getting healthier. And on the sideline, 2nd and 6. Stafford out to his right, nothing there, and he just throws it away. And we look defensively, Troy, at this group, and as we look at some of the faces and names, the question is always, how is Bill Belichick going to play it? How will they handle Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate? This defense has played well the last couple of weeks.
Well, they have, and the one thing that we know from Bill Belichick is that he focuses all week on taking the one thing away that the offense wants to do. You've got to believe that when you look at this Lions offense with Calvin Johnson playing today, that's going to be the focal point then for this Patriots defense.
Just got it away on 3rd down. Pass is beautiful and caught by Tate. He's got 2 catches, spinning as he hauled it in. A 17-yard completion working against Darrelle Revis.
Well, Darrelle Revis is so accustomed when he was at Tampa and when he was with the New York Jets of going to the #1 wide receiver each and every week. That's not the case here in New England. We see he's lined up on this play against Golden Tate. Brandon Browner was lined up on Calvin Johnson, but that will have different looks as we move through this game.
Handoff is to Bell. And the kid who played at Wayne State, Joyke Bell, a guy who was a security guard while at Wayne State and then was a security guard in training camp for the Lions, just beloved in Detroit, is up the middle for 3. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Last week, Joyke Bell had a season high 85 yards, and it was the best running game that the Lions have had, but I didn't think the offensive line played well at all in that loss to the Arizona Cardinals. A good part of his yards was really him getting those on his own.
Handoff is to Bell again. Spinning, fighting, not much. And Patrick Chung was there to meet him, a gain of 1 as they continue on the sideline to work on the left tackle, Riley Reif. Here's what happened to him. on that first play. You see that right leg buckle and give out, whether it's the ankle, the knee, who knows. First round pick out of Iowa, now 3rd and 6. Riddick in the backfield. 22. Stafford broken up, and a good play defensively by Revis. Trying to get it into Golden Tate, and Darrell Revis, third kicker of the season for Detroit, the longtime Bronco, Pro Bowler last year. He is used to this stadium and drills it. And a good start for this Detroit offense. In the top spot in the NFC North. He and Tate hooking up to help pick up 3. Well, if you're Detroit and you want to come in here and validate yourselves as a top flight team, good luck. The Patriots have won 14 straight here, and you're taking on Tom Brady at home. He just doesn't lose. Tall task as Prater drives it out of the back of the end zone. Amendola's there, and so now Tom Brady. And we look at number 12 on an incredible roll after that 2-2 start. That's what he's done at home. 3-time Super Bowl champ, 24 touchdowns, 5 picks, and a quarterback rating of over 100 at 102. 14 years ago today, as a rookie, Tom Brady made his NFL game debut. Who knew? Pass is caught out on the outside. LaFell. And the new top big wideout for Tom Brady, and that seems to change year by year, is good for 7. Let's take a look at some of the names and faces, Troy, and who do you focus on? I know you like the tight end. It makes you think of Novacek. You see Gronkowski.
He's playing awfully well. He's finally healthy. I just thought it was impressive when Tom Brady says he's playing the best he's ever seen. That says a lot.
Here's Edelman. Nice play. Good work by Edelman to just get back to the line of scrimmage. That was well covered. Glover Quinn was out there with Ansah. And so now 3rd down and 3, and here is the top-ranked defense. What do you like about it?
I like everything about him, Joe. The real key to this defense is that front 7. They do what great defenses do. They play hard. They don't make mistakes. Great tacklers.
Pass caught. That's Gronk. Penalty flag on the play. It was thrown by the referee. Could be a hold and may erase a first down.
Illegal use of the hands to the face, offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
They get Vollmer, and that takes the first down away. That's Tony Corrente, who is our referee today, and here's the penalty out on the edge, number 76, working against Jones. Not much.
Yeah, not much there. Not much there at all. And Ziggy Ansah, he's getting checked out over there on the sidelines. Take a look and see what happened to him. Looked like it happened right at the end of the play when he was trying to make the tackle.
Get on! Watch him, Danny.
3rd down and 13. Brady fires incomplete. And with Fred Aldis manning the dials down in the audio booth, you could hear Tom Brady say, Gronk, get on the line of scrimmage, and it's 4th down.
Well, that's an excellent job by this Detroit Lions defense. As you see the job that they're able to do on Gronkowski, Tom Brady works the middle of the field, which is where they had to go. There was help on the outside with the wide receivers. Cassius Vaughn in coverage. It's an excellent job, aided by the penalty on Vollmer, but getting off the field.
Ross waiting for the punt. Allen hits it. Not too pretty. Kind of a line drive, and maybe a little room for Ross. And that room is gone. Nice play by Matthew Slater. And just a 4-yard return. But the Lions, good start defensively, have it up 3. Along with our producer, Richie Zients, our director, Rich Russo, back at Gillette Stadium. 2nd possession for the Lions. With Riddick in the backfield next to Matthew Stafford. Lions leading 3-zip. Here we go. Sideline and off the hands of Calvin Johnson. He has got the big body of Brandon Browner on him, all 6'4" of them. There aren't cornerbacks in the NFL that are 6'4".
Well, and I think that's why they're trying to match up right now, at least in the early going. And as I said, there will be times watching them in practice where Darrelle Revis will be on him, and we're going to see Brandon Browner, but that's a lot of what we've seen. As you see now, Darrelle Revis is lining up across him, but there is help with the safety.
Here's Bell trying to get around the defensive back. That's Browner, and he rides him out of bounds with a gain of 4. And let's go to Kurt Menefee with a game break.
First touchdown of the day, and well, this is pretty easy to be the first touchdown because it came on the opening kickoff in Philadelphia. Josh Huff, 107 yards for the score. 10th touchdown by a unit other than the Eagles' offense already this season. And they just scored again seconds ago, so it's 13-0. They lead Tennessee. Joe Troy-Nell.
Special teams for the Eagles, coached by Coach Phipp. That's the best in the league.
Yeah, well, I know who's going to be Special Teams Coach of the Year. That's a no-brainer. They've been excellent.
Now third down. Here's Stafford getting sacked and brought down by Akeem Ayers, and what a pickup he was. That's sack number 3.
Well, Riley Reef, he's out of the game, and so Cornelius Lucas, you're going to see the move that's made by Ayers. He gets him going, think he's going to try to the speed rush on the outside. It's an excellent job by Ayers, knowing he's going up against a young player, rookie free agent. He gets a sack on Matthew Stafford.
You talk about the feet of a big guy, that's what often separates him. And what a move by Ayers. Here, no fair catch. Amendola daring takes it back out to the 14 after a 53-yard punt. Abdul Quddus was the first guy there right in his face. Patriots have it, down by 3. Did you get into the Bunker Hill Museum as well, Troy, or was it just the JFK Museum? Here's a handoff, and right into the waiting arms of Ziggy Ansah, and Ndamukong Suh is Mr. Vereen, and Shane loses 5. That's about as ugly a running play as you'll see. 2nd and 15.
Well, you're not going to get a whole lot of running yards against this defense. They are awfully good against the run.
Brady's got Gronkowski, who drops it. Tahir Whitehead, the middle linebacker, was out there, and this was an opportunity. Gronkowski just couldn't hold the throw.
You don't see that very often from Rob Gronkowski, who we have talked about, and the fact that he has really come on here in the last several weeks. But to me, he's the real advantage that the Patriots have right now because of how strong this defense is, some of the things that a tight end can do.
How about that pressure? Pass is caught by Vereen, but in about 0.2 of a second, Brady was hit. A gain of 5. It's 4th down. Look at this by Suh.
Yeah, and Ndamukong Suh comes right up the middle. The offensive line, they got the wide receiver screen, so they know the ball's going to come out quick, but you can't allow Tom Brady to be hit like that. Only sacked 5 times during the 6-game win streak, but a lot of that has been because Brady gets the ball out of his hands quick.
Back-to-back 3-and-outs for New England. And this snap is skipped into the punter, Ryan Allen. And he gets off a beauty. What a play by Allen. And Ross is bottled up. How about Allen? He's pumping his fist going down the field. That was all Ryan Allen, as he got the short hop snap and hit a 65-yarder. 3-0 Lions. Ryan Allen, a second-year pro from Louisiana Tech, just saved the Patriots points and then hit a 65-yarder. Stafford in trouble. Down he goes. Sacked, and it's Ninkovich. And that's the second, and Stafford gets up and looks to be shaken up. A loss of 8.
Well, the right side of that offensive line for Detroit, you see the pressure that New England was able to bring. Rob Ninkovich right in the middle of that pocket for Matthew Stafford. That's a great job of applying pressure on him.
Ninkovich leads this defense with 6 sacks. Second of the day. Ayers has the other. Here is Bell. Not much. Third and long coming up. A gain of just 2. And you start talking about flipping field position again, not to make too much of it, but Ryan Allen is single-handedly responsible for that.
Well, you said he saved points by fielding the bad snap. He saved points on flipping field position, also assuming the Patriots are able to make a stop here on third down, because when you're punting from your own end zone, you're the opposing offense. You're not expecting to start the drive on the 20-yard line.
Now 3rd and 16. Good pocket. Pass incomplete. 4th down. Calvin Johnson the closest to it. And a shake of the head from Matthew Stafford as the frustration offensively continues for Detroit.
Well, now what we've seen here in this first quarter, Brandon Browner lining up for the most part on Calvin Johnson. He's a big physical corner. As you said, we know the size advantage typically that Calvin Johnson has. Now the Patriots are giving a little help with the safety. So far they've done a nice job.
Pretty good punt here. Edelman from the 30. Gets around Abdul Kudus and is out across the 35. But again, circle this one. The work done by the punter. Ryan Allen on the bad snap. Then 65 yards to Ross. Those moments are few and far between, but Allen loved it. So Jonas Gray missed practice on Friday. Showed up late, was sent home after becoming the cover boy on Sports Illustrated after his big day last week. Here's LaFell out across the 50. Jonas Gray last week, 37 carries, 201 yards at Indianapolis and 4 touchdowns. He gets sent home from practice on Friday. And so now being re-signed is LeGarrette Blount. He was in there on this completion to Brandon LaFell.
I had an opportunity to talk with Tom Brady and asked him if he thought LeGarrette Blount would be a factor in this game. He lit up and he said, oh, he absolutely will be.
Pass is behind Vereen. So let that be a lesson, kids. Act your way off one team and then get picked up by a better one.
Well, like you said, I mean, the guy has an unbelievable game, that being Jonas Gray. Last week, 201 yards rushing. That was his coming out party. He misses practice. He oversleeps. Doesn't get to the facility on time. He's been over there on the sideline standing next to Bill Belichick. And now LeGarrette Blount's got a new lease on life after being released by the Steelers.
Because he walked off the field early. Here is Edelman with a catch. And he secured it going to the ground. What a grab by Julian Edelman, a gain of 5.
You think about Julian Edelman, from the time he came into this league as a guy who had never played wide receiver, and what he is now doing 6 years later. There's very little he doesn't do. He lines up outside, inside. He'll line up in the backfield. He'll run reverses. He does it all.
3rd down and 5. Pass caught. There he is. 1st down. Edelman inside the 35. Not a big body. They list him at 5'10", 200. A gain of 10. And it's a first 3rd down as the Patriots were coming off their first back-to-back 3-and-outs to start a game all year.
They're in the no huddle, and Brandon LaFell out at wide receiver having a hard time picking up the play. He was able to get it at the end there by Brady.
Brady was looking his way. Now throws his way. He's got a 1st down. LaFell inside the 25. A game break's coming up. Kurt Menefee will give it to you.
All right, here's something we haven't seen in a while. Matt Ryan, 24-yard touchdown pass to Julio Jones. Julio's first touchdown since week 3, with Atlanta up 7 over Cleveland. Joe Aaron.
All you fantasy owners that gave up on Julio Jones said you didn't start him. Here's Brady. Pass is gone to Edelman. What a throw. The fastball from Brady and 14 yards for a 1st down.
Well, the Lions are playing 2 deep coverage with their safety, so you work the middle of the field. He could have gone to Gronkowski, or he works the other side in the middle to Julian Edelman. Excellent job, Brady, recognizing coverage.
Here's Vereen down inside the 5, and now The New England offense looks like it's getting on a roll.
Kind of got them on the ropes right now. They're running an up-tempo. A lot of offenses do, but Tom Brady does an excellent job. Now, this is where the Lions have been good, not allowing many running touchdowns in this area.
Only 4 all year. Pass is dropped. Chance for a touchdown, and that ball had some heat on it from Brady. Edelman couldn't haul it in, and it's Julian Edelman who's replaced Welker in this offense.
Yeah, in fact, when he first came into the league, they kind of referred to him as a poor man's Wes Welker. He didn't like the comparison because Welker had accomplished so much. You don't see him drop many like that either.
Hey, Mike, it's a middle. Read Alpha. Go!
3rd down and goal. Pass caught. Touchdown. Tight end Tim Wright.
Looks like they caught Josh Bynes here. He doesn't work to the middle. You're going to see is Tim Wright works off the line of scrimmage. Nobody then goes to his direction. So a free release off the line. No interference by the linebacker, just a break in coverage.
How can you trade Logan Mankins? They did. Before the start of the year, Tim Wright, the tight end they got from Tampa Bay. And that's touchdown number 5. And he was just left wide open in the back of the end zone.
Well, that's what the Patriots can do. They just stress a defense. The up-tempo, you're not able to make a lot of checks. You got to be somewhat basic then in what you're trying to do. But if you're going to give help to the outside, you open up some of those inside throws that we saw Brady take advantage of. That's an excellent job offensively of finishing off a drive with a touchdown.
9 plays on that drive, 8 of them pass plays, so they ran it only once. Logan Mankins was a first-round pick in 2005. August of this year, traded to Tampa Bay for Tim Wright, who just got the touchdown. The 6-time Pro Bowler, that kind of shook things up here, and after, because of injury and because of the trade and moving guys around on the offensive line, this is now the 4th straight game with the same starting offensive line in the same spots. And it's finally taken hold here with the Patriots.
If you're going to be good, you've got to have a solid offensive line. You don't allow Tom Brady to do what he does. 5 different offensive line combinations in the first 7 weeks of the season. As you said, consistency up front, and we've seen the production come from that offensively.
Lions now trailing 7-3 will start at the 20. Well, the Patriots have made it a habit what they're trying to do today, and that is beat division leaders. Beating Cincinnati week 5, beating the Broncos easily week 9, and then just taking apart the Colts last week. Now they're taking on Detroit, leading the NFC North. And Bill Belichick usually has no issues with NFC teams. 21-4 at home against the NFC since this stadium became the home of the Patriots in 2002. Leading today 7-3. Joyce Bell is going to get it out to the 26-yard line, and as Troy said early, inactive yet again is Reggie Bush for the 4th time in the last 6 games with an ankle injury, and they miss him.
Well, they do miss him. They miss the things that he's able to create. You know, as we see Reggie Bush, they got a short week. They come back. They play on Thanksgiving Day, their annual hostage of that game. And Joe Lombardi, their offensive coordinator, calling plays for the first time in the National Football League, trying to get some kind of consistency without key guys playing each and every week.
Lombardi cut his teeth with Sean Payton and the Saints. Here's Bell, good run. And Joyce Bell has got a first down. For more on Reggie Bush, down to Aaron Andrews.
Yeah, I was talking to Joe Lombardi before the game about Reggie Bush, and he said early in the week they were very optimistic that he was going to give it a go this weekend and play, but they said as the week went on, they just found out that ankle was not doing well. He said he is confident that he will go this Thursday, or this coming Thursday on Thanksgiving against the Bears, but like you guys mentioned, they need him badly.
They do, because he opens up space. Still a threat. 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. On first down, trying to establish the ground game. Bell is going to carry up the middle and pick up 4. This is a ground game that has not been good. Ranked 30th in the NFL. Yards per rush just 3.2. Rushing yards per game under 80 a game.
Those are hard yards that we're seeing right now from Joique Bell. I mentioned last week's game against the Cardinals how he earned all those yards that he got. When you're running in the middle of this defense for the Patriots and Vince Wilfork and the rest of that group, that's tough to come by, but those were good yards right there by Bell on first down.
Do it again, not this time. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's it. Patrick Chung up from the safety spot, 3rd and 6 coming up.
Patrick Chung, he began his career here with the Patriots. He's back for another stint, and he's actually done a nice job. They like him around the box. You'll see him down there frequently throughout the ball game, get involved in the run defense. Does an excellent job.
Everybody up on the line of scrimmage. Stafford slides away. And still on his feet. Behind the line of scrimmage and a big completion. That's Calvin Johnson, his first catch of the day. And a gain of 15. What a job by Matthew Stafford.
It's a great job. Right from the snap, he wanted to work Calvin Johnson, but the safety has continually given him a little bit of help. Matthew Stafford has to keep the play alive. He finishes it off with the completion. It's a great job.
And there's another sidearm sling from Stafford as we go to the second back after this from your local Fox station. Well, that was a nice completion from Matthew Stafford to Calvin Johnson for the first down at the end of the first quarter. There are the numbers after 1. First down at the 49. Just across midfield, play action. Stafford steps up. He's got his guy, Tate, Golden Tate. Big first half, and he's knocked out of bounds inside the 10. Devin McCourty finally forces him out after a catch and run of 42.
Well, this time the Patriots, they play zone coverage, and they are unable to account for Golden Tate. So he starts to one side of the formation. He works across on a deep crossing route. They turn him loose. Big gain for the Lions.
How about Tate? He's over 1,000 yards for the season now.
This guy's really something special. I would have loved, and I had guys like him. He's a special player. He's better on Sunday than what you would think you'd be watching him in practice.
Here's one floated for Fourier. And we're going to get a hold defensively. Joseph Fourier, whose dad Christian was a tight end with the Patriots, was held.
Holding. Defense number 23 with a jersey grab. This penalty be assessed half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
There's Patrick Chung again.
Well, they finally get Fourier involved in the offense. He missed 6 games before returning last week, and this is where he's really at his best, is down here in the red zone. He's a big target. They're trying to work him there in the end zone, and they get Patrick Chung for the hold.
He had 7 touchdowns a year ago as a rookie. Only 18 catches. Here's Bell. And Joique is going to be down near the 1, maybe just inside the 2. Play made by Devin McCourty, 2nd and goal.
Hey, how about this drive, Joe? You know, this is a Lions team that really hasn't played many games with a lead in the first half. They've had some slow starts. They've won games coming from behind. You don't want to do that against this New England team. They start off this game up 3-zip. New England answers, gets a touchdown, needed something from their offense, and they're answering here.
Second and goal. Pass is broken up. There's Revis out there on the edge with Calvin Johnson. 3rd goal coming up. And when I said Fourier, his uncle Christian, not dad, and we'll see where the Lions want to go on 3rd and goal as they trail here by 4.
Well, talking with Darrelle Revis, he said this is the most talent he's had on a team since his high school state championship team at Aliquippa High School. They're in Pennsylvania. Guys come to work. They work hard each day. He does a great job on that play against Calvin Johnson.
incomplete. Chung in coverage. So they did go to Joseph Fourier. And Chung was there to knock it away. It's 4th down.
They line him up in the slot, so you've got a lot of room. They're trying to run a natural pick. He's got a chance to make a play. It's a well-designed play by Joe Lombardi, a perfect throw by Matthew Stafford, and one that Joe Fourier's got to be able to make. And you just wonder if the 6-game layoff didn't get much action last week, if he's a little rusty, but you got to make those plays.
Boy, what an opportunity missed by Detroit. You could see the look on Stafford. That said it all. This one is just inside the left upright. A 20-yarder by Prater. So the defense for the Patriots, it holds up. 1-point game here in Foxborough. Patriots Hall of Fame, there are the 3 Lombardi trophies. One by Bill Belichick, and obviously Tom Brady with the cast changing. Certainly a different cast now as Martin kicks it away, and Amendola has some room. Gets around Martin. Foot race. Gets a block. Chased down outside the 20. From Danny Amendola.
That's an excellent job of using his blockers, but then there's some poor angles. He's one-on-one on the punter, or excuse me, the kicker, and that's what you want as a returner. Some opportunities to get him on the ground sooner than they were able to, but just an excellent job by Amendola of getting a big return for this Patriots team.
With one in the backfield, they fake it to him, throw it to LaFell. Brandon LaFell out of bounds with a first down inside the 10. 16 yards to Brandon LaFell, who's got 5 touchdowns on the year and came in with 39 catches and developing more and more chemistry in his first year with Tom Brady. That was Sue flying across the line of scrimmage again.
Encroachment defense, number 90. This penalty assessed half the distance to the goal. Remains first down.
How quick is this 6'4", 305-pounder? Too quick on that last play.
He's a powerful guy. He anticipates snap count. He's right over the ball. He gets caught this time by Tom Brady, who does an excellent job with the hard count, knowing that you have to be able to neutralize this defensive front, and you're able to do that when you're playing at home.
Ball is at the 3, 1st and goal. Blunt. Welcome back. Touchdown. Released by the Steelers on Tuesday, signed here on Thursday, and into the end zone on Sunday.
I think this is really why they brought him in. He was outstanding for this team last year. But at 250 pounds, even though Jonas Gray is a big physical runner himself, he's 20 pounds lighter than LeGarrette Blount. So you're able to run right into the teeth of this Lions defense with LeGarrette Blount. It's an excellent job.
Blount last year had 7 touchdowns in the regular season and then followed that up with a 166-yard 4-touchdown game against Indianapolis in the playoffs. Amendola set it up. Patriots offense did the rest of 8. Why not bring him back? He had signed a 2-year deal in Pittsburgh. They signed him to a 2-year deal here in New England with some free agency coming up. They could hit this running back core hard at the end of the year. And the Lions down by 8 will start at the 20. Big week coming up for college football rivalries. TCU battles Texas. Followed on Friday by Arizona State against Arizona on Saturday. How about this? Notre Dame taking on USC. It all begins Thanksgiving Day on Fox Sports 1. Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. UCLA, your Bruins beat the Trojans last night 38.
There you go. A little love for the Bruins.
Love for the Bruins and Jim Mora.
They're on a little hot streak against the Southern Cal Trojans.
This second quarter, as you can see by the numbers, all year has been dominated by the Patriots. Best second quarter team in the NFL. Here's Bell. And Joik is out to the 25.
You think back to that last drive there by New England. It is absolutely deflating, Joe, for a team. The Lions drive down the field. They have to settle for a field goal. Then they kick off, and the Patriots are set up deep in their territory to come away with a touchdown. It's asking a lot of your defense to be able to make a stop. The New England Patriots now for the last 3 games are 11 of 12 in the red zone. I mean, they've been exceptional when they've gotten the ball down around the goal line.
Joik Bell's already carried it 11 times. They fake it to him. Pass is caught, and a nice throw by Stafford. The rolling first down catch by Jeremy Ross. Let's check in with Calvin Johnson and the attention he's received.
Well, Brandon Browner has been on him most times. We saw Darrelle Revis on him once there in that first quarter, but there is some help that's being provided by the safeties. And so Golden Tate, the tight ends, Eric Ebron, he's healthy again. He's on the field, and you start working some of those guys.
Only 1 catch, 16 yards for Johnson. Spinning his Bell, and he's wrapped up by Dante Hightower. No gain. Here's Joel Klatt with a game break.
All right, guys, let's go out to Minnesota. Teddy Bridgewater. He's going to find Charles Johnson. That's Bridgewater's 5th TD. He's thrown a TD in each of his last 5 games. By the way, Charles Johnson originally drafted by the Packers. That game's tied up at 7. Joe, Troy, and Aaron.
Yeah, and everybody's talking about the Packers and how hot they are, no doubt. They still have some questions defensively. It's been a help with Clay Matthews moving to the middle, at least inside linebacker. 2nd and 9. Stafford comes underneath. Bell gets wrapped up. Casillas. And one of the pickups by the Patriots in season makes a nice tackle, a loss of 3.
You see Calvin Johnson, 81, and they're still trying to work the ball to him. They're working that side of the field. You either take the shot on the corner route to Calvin Johnson. You got Golden Tate working to the sidelines. This secondary has been glued pretty tight. We've seen Golden Tate get some opportunities, and he's done a nice job here in this first half. I just think one of these tight ends is going to have to be a contributor here this afternoon.
3rd down and 12. Just got it away, and down goes Stafford Ninkovich. 3rd time he's been sacked, and Ninkovich came through basically untouched. A flag is thrown, and we'll check it as the offense stays out there.
Looks like might have been a hold on Dante Hightower.
Defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty creates an automatic first down.
So forget the sack, the automatic first down, and it's against Jamie Collins.
Well, what frees Ninkovich is right here. He's going to loop around, and the hold there on Dominique Raiola. That's why Raiola is unable to free himself up to pick up the game, and that's what happens a lot. The referees don't always catch that. That's an excellent job on their part of recognizing the stunt and the twist by the Patriots, which kept Raiola from being able to make a block.
So it's a defensive hold, an automatic first down, the ball just outside the 40. Here's Tate with a blocker in front of him, Ross. And Golden Tate with a nice carry. He's got another first down when he ran into the body of Devin McCourty. And this is obviously a game for Tate. We've seen Calvin Johnson basically shut down, and you're still waiting for a tight end to step forward for Detroit. Well, that hasn't happened yet.
Well, that really hasn't happened all year because of all the injuries. When they came into the season, what Joe Lombardi wanted to do was run a lot of 2 tight ends, 3 tight end sets, and they just haven't been able to do it. So Golden Tate has been the one constant throughout this season. Has performed well.
Stafford airs it out downfield. The pass is incomplete. A flag is down. Corey Fuller, the intended target. Here's the call.
Offside. Defense, number 91, in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
That's Jamie Collins. This is a defense that lost Gerard Mayo. Went on IR with a knee middle of October. Here's the end of the play, a free play, and Fuller was in a good position, couldn't make the catch.
Yeah, they've had a couple of those now. We saw Fourier miss the one for a touchdown. Now Fuller misses that one. A couple penalties on Jamie Collins. I think they got the wrong guy called unless Jamie Collins had a penalty on the one, but there was a hold along that defensive front that we pointed out on Dominique Raiola.
Here's Bell. On 1st and 5, a gain of just 1 with Casillas in there to help on the tackle.
So the Lions now, they've been able to keep this drive alive. They've gotten a few penalties and given themselves an opportunity. But when you're looking at a 14-6 deficit in the second quarter, and this Patriots offense has been very productive here in recent weeks. I think as an offense, you've got to realize you got to keep serve.
Patriots are averaging 10 penalties a game, which is the second most in the NFL. Average is 8. 2nd and 4. Stafford. Pass incomplete. Tate's looking for a flag. Won't get it. Covered by Revis. 3rd and 4.
A lot of contact with Darrelle Revis and Golden Tate. You see as Tate's trying to come out of that break. Very easily could have been called. Darrelle Revis has been an excellent addition to this defense, and quarterbacks are completing less than 50% when they go in his direction. He's a hard guy to get free from.
3rd and 4. Stafford not on the same page. Tate had throttled it down, and Stafford leading him down the sideline. It's 4th down, and frustration for Stafford.
I like what Detroit tried, though. Knowing that you've got safety help on Calvin Johnson, nothing new. He sees it each and every week. But it's hard then to throw the deeper routes, even though he's such a big play threat down the field, that you run the crossing routes, and that time they did with Calvin Johnson, but a miscommunication on the other end.
Martin will hit it. Edelman waits for it. The end-over-end kick. Edelman will let it go. And a good punt. Checks up inside the 10. And down by Fuller after a 33-yard punt. They'll mark it at the 6, where the Patriots have it up 8. Well, still just 1 catch for 16 yards for Calvin Johnson. On the other side, with a diverse attack of the New England Patriots week to week, you just don't know where it's going to come from.
Well, Jonas Gray still hasn't even gotten a carry.
5th offensive series, we haven't seen it. Once in the backfield. Fake it to him. Brady throws. Wide open is Edelman. And Julian Edelman out of bounds. So last week, Troy, they add to their offensive line and they just pound it down the throats of the Indianapolis Colts. The big day for Jonas Gray. They had Cameron Fleming in there as an extra tackle. He's not active today. Still bothered by the fingernail and ankle. And here they are. They've thrown it 15 times. They've only run the ball 3 times in this entire first half.
Now both sides of the ball, Joe. The Patriots offensively and defensively are just very versatile in how they play.
Here's one. Fighting to the 25.
There's not many. A lot of coaches want to do it. Bill Belichick, that's been what he's known for throughout his career as a coach, whether it was a defensive coordinator with the Giants or as a head coach, here with the New England Patriots. He's going to do what he has to do that gives him the best chance to win. This is the best run defense in all of football. So last week, 250 yards rushing. This week, going to be a little harder to do that. So now they come out throwing the football. Tom Brady's been red hot.
Here's Edelman. He's got another first down. Got a big hit. Spins his way to the 35. You remember Bill Belichick back in Detroit, don't you? 1976, Lions assistant special teams coach. 77, a wide receivers and tight ends coach. First job was the year before all that in 75 with the Baltimore Colts. 15th year in New England. He's won 3 championships. Nice catch, LaFell. Did he secure it? He did. First down, New England, 13 yards to LaFell.
And of course, that was all there at the feet of his father. Steve Belichick at the Naval Academy. So he's been around the sport a long, long time. You see at the end of that play, C.J. Mosley comes in and gets a shot on Tom Brady.
Nice day so far for LaFell. Here's Gronkowski overthrown. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Well, speaking of C.J. Mosley, a guy who, when we were over in London, got sent home, he has had to step in because Nick Fairley got hurt in that game against the Falcons, and they haven't missed a beat, Joe. I mean, a defense that's been good all season long. Their run defense really has gotten better since Nick Fairley went down. Not all because of C.J. Mosley. A lot of guys playing.
Here is Edelman just got popped, and he's slow to get up. It was Levy out there on the edge, and Edelman seems to be okay. But watch this on number 11. That is helmet to helmet. Have a seat.
Well, there's no quitting DeAndre Levy either, and if you're going to run a fake reverse, you better be prepared to take a hit.
Now 3rd down pass. Edelman, there he is. And he's got a 1st down. How much would you have loved to have a guy like Julian Edelman scooting around on your offense?
Well, I liked it better when Julian Edelman was your 3rd receiver. He's done an outstanding job in whatever his role has been. But when he's been your 3rd guy, meaning you've got Randy Moss and you've got some other complementary receivers, you're able to work the middle of the field with a guy like Julian Edelman. That's a great matchup.
Handoff to Vereen. And Shane is going to pick up 4, brought down by Tahir Whitehead. I mean, you could see Edelman come to the sideline after the catch, kind of shake out the neck and the cobwebs after that hit on the previous play.
Well, he was a he was a quarterback in college at Kent State. So for all those that think quarterbacks aren't tough, Edelman's proved you wrong.
Old 73. Rio, Blanco.
The ones I know really well are okay. Tough.
Rita.
I've gotten tougher since I got in the booth.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't we all? 2nd and 6. Here's Gronkowski. And he's down inside the 25. And that's his 1st catch of the game. Good for 15.
You know, Rob Gronkowski, pretty simple. Just comes off the line of scrimmage. He's in the slot position. Free release, and nobody really works his way. And I can assure you that if he doesn't draw more attention than that, he's going to have a lot of catches.
On 1st down, Vereen with a screen. Down near the 5. And he'll set up 1st and goal after a catch and run of 16.
Now, Shane Vereen is so good coming out of the backfield. You think about when Stephen Ridley was lost for the season. They really wanted everybody to remain in their roles. They wanted Vereen to be the guy who comes out of the backfield, catches the ball. And that's really why they activated Jonas Gray to be the workhorse on 1st and 2nd down and keep Vereen in the role that he has been.
Hey. 2 for 2 in the red zone are the Patriots. Hand off to Vereen. He's swallowed up by Whitehead. And a loss of 3. But as you said, this is a Patriots offense that, at least lately, when they get down into the red zone, they don't miss getting it into the end zone.
Yeah, and this is the Lions defense that's been good in keeping teams from getting into the end zone. But that's the difference in this game. The Lions have had to settle for field goals. Patriots have come away with touchdowns.
2nd and goal. End zone nearly picked. Abdul Kudus was underneath it and almost got his hands on it, looking for LaFell.
Well, that's another reason why this Lions defense has been good down here in the red zone. They've been able to create some takeaways. Last week, Josh Bynes, he's able to intercept the ball against Drew Stanton and the Arizona Cardinals. They have an opportunity to make a play here and not give up any points just off the fingertips.
This number 1 ranked defense, the Lions, they need to make a play here on 3rd and goal. Brady steps up. He's got his guy. 2nd of the day, Tim Wright. He came in with 4. He's got 2 today.
Initially, Brady's wanted to work Gronkowski across the field, but because there was no inside pressure and Brady's able to step up in the pocket, the safety completely loses. It's Quinn who turns Tim Wright loose, and Brady with time is able to find him.
Isn't that it, though? Brady with time, with the eyes going all around and just finding the guy who's left wide open.
Give him time, he's dangerous.
It is 21-6. First career multiple touchdown game for Tim Wright. I'd say he's in a better spot now. The former Buccaneer now catching passes from Tom Brady, whose team is up by 15. Did you ever hear of Tim Wright before this season started? He was down in Tampa Bay, as we mentioned, was traded here to New England, and what a game he's already had. 7th straight game with multiple touchdown passes for Tom Brady, and with this offense right now, everybody talking about Green Bay, and rightly so, in the NFC, but how about in the AFC? I think we're looking at the best team that the American Football Conference has to offer.
Well, especially if they're playing here at Gillette Stadium, where they're almost unbeatable.
So in this 15-point game, we'll welcome you back inside the booth, and the question for you is pretty simple. What's going on with the Detroit Lions offense with all these weapons, with Matthew Stafford, first-year coordinator? A lot of questions, and it's been a bad start.
Well, it has not been a good start. You're right. It hasn't really been a good year in terms of offense for the Lions, and that's, as I said, because they've had so many different injuries. They haven't been able to even practice with a lot of these guys with a new offense. But you know, right now, Joe, right now, talking about Tom Brady and what he's been able to do offensively, this is a defense that has only given up 21 points 3 times this season. And yet here the Patriots have 21 points in the first half.
Here's Riddick, a nice run on first down. He picks up 9. And we'll see if Detroit can come up with an answer. They've obviously got their 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning here as they trail by 15.
Well, it's kind of an important drive, and this is a time of the game where the Lions are pretty good, and Matthew Stafford is especially good, really good at the end of ball games, but getting into this hurry-up offense, right now they're going to let it run down.
Wow.
To the 2-minute warning.
That's respect, isn't it? I think that's more respect for Brady and the Patriots offense, but they just gave away 20 seconds on the clock.
Not a lot of confidence in your offense.
2-minute warning here in Foxborough. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. 2nd down and 1 as the Lions just let some valuable seconds tick away. Setting up a screen, they do for Riddick. He's got a first down, nice move. Theo Riddick is out across the 45. You got the game winner, the touchdown catch against the Miami Dolphins a couple of weeks ago, and just makes a nice catch and run of 19 yards.
Well, it sure does, and they needed that, and Rob Sims, their left guard, does an excellent job, and Theo Riddick helps read that block and picks up a nice gain on 2nd and short.
Riddick stays in there. 3 timeouts left for Detroit. Here's Ross. Flag flies with Arrington in coverage.
Illegal contact, defense number 25. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
I didn't see a whole lot there. It came out early. That flag was being thrown long before the end of the play. As you saw, there was a little bit more contact. Kyle Arrington coming off a heck of a game last week against the Indianapolis Colts, but that's the one-on-one matchup because, again, safety working over to Calvin Johnson. You've got to be able to get the ball to other guys, and that time Jeremy Ross had an opportunity and they get the penalty.
4th penalty on the Patriots defense. 5th overall against New England. Arrington's been playing really well. On first down, little pump fake, and the pass incomplete. That's Ross on the other side of the field. And it was Kyle Arrington in coverage again. Dominican Sue with a couple of conversations on the bench as this Lions defense tries to figure out how to slow down Tom Brady and the Patriots offense.
Yeah, and Tom Brady being the key because the Patriots haven't They haven't really tried much, but they haven't done anything on the ground. It's all been through the air.
Second and 10. Stafford slings it, first down. Pass is caught by Fuller. And Corey Fuller is up to the 35. Now plenty of time with the two big chunks they got. The one by Riddick and this last one by Fuller. First down with just over a minute to go. And 3 timeouts. Start thinking about using him here. Back shoulder throw and incomplete for Fuller.
Well, that's the guy who has to win. Corey Fuller. They have Golden Tate and Calvin Johnson to the opposite side of the formation. The safety is cheating that way, so you've got one-on-one. That's just like in practice that you work on each and every day. Corey Fuller, who got a lot of opportunities during that time that Calvin Johnson was injured, should serve him well, not only in this game, but as he moves forward through the rest of the year. Here's the safety again. He's working over here towards Calvin Johnson.
Stafford out to his right. Hightower chasing and incomplete. Pass intended for Ebron with Patrick Chung. He's been busy there to close down on the play.
Matthew Stafford can make a lot of great throws from a lot of different angles. You see him doing whatever he can to try to get it there. He's being chased by Dante Hightower, the linebacker, who got free right through the middle of that offensive line.
Well, now third down and 10. With the ball at the 35. They're in range for Prater. Stafford floats it, looking for Riddick, incomplete. And we'll see if the Lions bring out the field goal unit and look for 3, or if by a 21-6 score they're going to try and force it. They're going to attempt the field goal 53 yards from this spot.
Boy, they had an opportunity to Theo Riddick one-on-one on Jamie Collins, just unable to connect.
The ball came out early. Prater was suspended the first 4 games of this season, violating the NFL substance abuse policy, then released. And now he's wide left. 2 out of 3 on the day. And 11 out of 15 as a Detroit Lion. Kicking woes continue for Detroit. Still down 15.
Plan to stay for long.
Patriots starting in a hurry. Here's Edelman. But a flag is thrown as Edelman's forced out inside the 30. Tony Correnti, the referee, threw it, and it's a hold.
Holding offense, number 77, with a takedown. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
That's a left tackle. He's made all 11 starts, Nate Solder.
And you see the grab there with the left hand by Solder, and it eliminates a big gain then by Julian Edelman, who got turned loose in that zone coverage.
The 2 tackles have made all the starts. The interchangeable parts have been on the inside at left guard, center, and right guard. But that offensive line has come together with this group now up front for Tom Brady. And this is why we said, you know, going toward the 2-minute warning, Detroit didn't hurry up, try to pick up the first down, use a timeout. They didn't want Brady to have time to add to the point total. Here's what fell. Wide receiver screen out on the edge with blockers. A gain of 8. Whitehead on the stop.
This offense, as we've talked about for the Patriots, they're doing things against this defense that just nobody has been able to do this season. They got a 15-point deficit, the Lions do. They cannot afford to give up more points to the Patriots here in this first half.
Timeout New England. What's coming up at halftime? Here's Kurt.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, Josh Gordon makes his return for the Browns. Darren Sproles and the Eagles jump out to a hot start over the Titans. And Andrew Luck and the Colts battle the Jags. Highlights and more coming up on the Visa halftime. Go get him, Jimmy.
Nobody has more fun on Sundays than Jimmy Johnson.
No kidding. Nobody has more fun in life than Jimmy Johnson. Are you kidding me?
He was Mr. Giggles back with the Cowboys in the 90s, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was a barrel of fun.
2nd and 12. And a false start.
False start, offense, number 19. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
That always makes you so happy when a wide receiver is guilty of a false start.
Yeah, that, you know, I understand it, but you don't like it. They're supposed to not even hear the snap count. Just watch the ball, but it happens.
2nd and 17. 7 penalties already against New England.
59, Rita. Hey, watch it.
Blitz coming. Patriots pick it up. Gronkowski spins near the 40. And with 17 seconds left, New England hurrying up to the football, but calling a timeout.
Well, they put Levy in a very difficult position because they're playing zone coverage. They release the back out of the backfield. He then gets caught a little bit in the middle. He decides to shade a little bit then to the back. It frees up Gronkowski right in the middle. Here's Levy right in the middle. You're going to see as he shades because the back going out into the flat, it opens up that throwing lane for Gronkowski for an easy completion.
Who knew that Mr. Kraft, Robert Kraft, our friend Bob Kraft, with Jonathan to his left, our right, would be a fashion-forward guy. The Nike Air Force Ones, wearing for comfort, has turned into a charitable endeavor.
Go, go, go! Go!
Pass caught. There he is again. Gronkowski down inside the 20. And with timeouts remaining, they'll spend one with 4 seconds left and try and add 3.
Well, this is just an absolute bust in coverage. Both of these guys go to the flat. So they put Edelman in the backfield. They release him. Essentially the same route they ran before with the halfback. Gronkowski runs the same route, and they still don't have an answer for him.
Gronkowski will set up Gostkowski. Brady, 21 of 27, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. And if he hits this field goal, Stephen Gostkowski will be number 2 all-time on the Patriots scoring list. And at some point here, if he stays healthy, before too long, the next few weeks, he will become the all-time leading scorer in New England Patriots history.
Now, the most points that the Lions have given up all season long was week 2 to the Carolina Panthers. They gave up 24 points, and the Patriots on the verge of matching that in the first 30 minutes of play.
35-yard try. He is just about automatic. And it's 24-6 with the Patriots looking for their 7th straight. By the way, all proceeds as they made that sale with Bob Kraft and the Nike shoes going to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston. What a half for the Patriots. Piece of halftime coming up. Sun has been shining on the Patriots pretty much since the start. Lions jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Basically all New England after that. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan and the numbers for Tom Brady after a half. Were you worried about Tom Brady and the Patriots after that thrashing on Sunday night at the end of September in Kansas City? Did you think it was over?
Hey, I don't know that I've ever been worried about Tom Brady, okay? There's not a lot to worry about, but it didn't look good, in that game against Kansas City. But, hey, you have games like that. How could you count this team out with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady? They seemingly do it every year.
On a roll, looking for 7 straight. And to start the second half, the drive will begin at the 20. And for more after the half, here's Aaron Andrews.
Yeah, and obviously Lions head coach Jim Caldwell had hoped his offense would have come out a lot better, a lot sharper, as he called it, in the first half. I asked him how they would try to get Calvin Johnson more involved, and he said, look, we have more guys than him on our offense that can do something. We just need someone to catch the ball. As for the defense, he said, we need to hit Tom Brady. We're capable of doing it. We just haven't done it all day.
Well, and the defense ranked number 1 at the start of the day is going to have to figure it out. This one's against Detroit. Jason Jones.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 91 stepped in neutral zone. causing an offensive player to break his stance. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Jason, who missed practice on Wednesday and Thursday, had to go back to Nashville. His son dealing with an illness, didn't talk much about it, but making the start as he has all year. And there's the pressure numbers for Tom Brady. Has not been sacked. First down at 5. Pass is broken up, and a big hit on Gronkowski, put on by Rasheed Mathis. We'll look at the first half numbers in a 24-6 game, and there it is, and the majority of it for New England through the air.
Just an outstanding job. We saw the stats about Tom Brady and the hits and the knockdowns, and for the most part, they have not been able to disrupt the timing. And when he has time in the pocket, and you allow, that's with any quarterback. Any of these great quarterbacks around the league, you give him time. He's had time. Matthew Stafford is not.
That's why you can see on that graphic 10 plays of over 10 yards. You give him time, he'll find the big play and carve you up. Here's Edelman, who that man Tom Brady calls Minitron. There's Megatron, there's Minitron, and Minitron is outplaying Megatron.
I've never heard that one. I like it though. Minitron's having a heck of a game.
Yeah. 8 catches, 69 yards. Sitting down is Mr. Touchdown today, Tim Wright, a gain of 5.
Which I think is really one of the impressive things about Tom Brady, and I've talked about it before, that, you know, Peyton Manning, for instance, he did it with a group of guys in Indianapolis. He's doing it with a different group of guys in Denver. Tom Brady has done it with a lot of different guys over the years just here in New England.
Here is a catch made by Vereen. Tom Brady does it with different guys seemingly every week within the year. Last 7 games have had 6 different players. The Patriots have lead the team in scrimmage yards. Only Gronkowski 2 times. Last week it was Jonas Gray. We haven't even said his name today.
Well, you better get a better alarm clock.
Here's Vereen. And Shane Vereen is good for 9. Jonas Gray with a 201-yard rushing day at Indianapolis. Said his phone went dead, he missed the alarm, and then missed practice, then was sent home.
You know, you think if you get used to getting up at a certain time every day, you just kind of wake up.
You would, because you're a freaking robot. Here is penalty flags. And it'll be 3rd down. Do you even set an alarm, be honest?
I do. I normally get up before it goes off.
Defense, offside.
Shocking.
This 5-yard penalty will create a first down.
So another offside and now a first down.
Yeah, you know, in visiting with Tom Brady about last year, you know, he talked about how last year was challenging. You know, they really became a running team. Gronkowski missed a good part of the year. Vereen was down. And yet, for a challenging year, they made it all the way to the AFC Championship team. He likes this team he's got this year.
And just a further point made earlier as that one's batted down to the line of scrimmage. He likes it now a lot better that the offensive line is settled down and he can find those guys and use all those different varied weapons that he has. And again, you just don't know where it's coming from offensively or in the secondary defensively for the Patriots week to week.
Got the rookie there in the middle, Ryan Stork, who missed time in training camp, and now he's taken over at center.
Here's Edelman. Down inside the 30. And the Lions fans have got to be saying, are we going to do this again? Detroit got out to a 6-3 start last year and then lost 6 out of 7. They come in today on top in the NFC North at 7-3. They've got a Week 17 matchup at Green Bay. They've got 3 games coming up after today, but they'll be favored in, you would think. But not looking good so far. 3rd down and 3. Pass is caught. The flag is down. Right with a catch inside the 10. But a flag down on the far side of the field. 16-yarder to Tim Wright. And Brady says it's against Detroit, and I'll believe him.
Holding, defense number 23. This penalty is declined. The result to the play, first down.
Looks like initially Tom Brady was trying to work Shane Vereen on an H post. They covered up pretty good, and because there's nobody there to take out Brady, he's able to buy a little bit of time, and Jim Wright, he's made some nice plays in this game.
Back into the red zone. And picked off. A big interception for Detroit. And it's Ihedebo, the former Patriot. And so a turnover, that's the first of the day. And just the 6th interception thrown by Brady. Detroit may have gotten away with one. The interception by Ihedebo. And the Lions take over. There's a must-see if you come to Boston. John F. Kennedy Library and Museum. Bynes got up. He looks to be okay. Same for Darius Slay. And here's Bell. Slowed down in the backfield. He ends up turning it into a 1-yard gain. First guy was Jamie Collins. Back to the pick.
And with Josh Bynes, he gets away with a hold as we saw going to break. And down here, things happen really quick. Ihedebo is not accounted for. As you see the hold there on Gronkowski by Bynes. Could have called pass interference, should have called it. But Brady did not check out in front of Gronkowski to see if there was anybody there to take that throw away. And Ihedebo makes a big stop that keeps Detroit alive.
2nd down and 9. Stafford slings it. What a catch. A beautiful catch and a nice touch throw from Stafford. It's Johnson about a yard shy of a first down.
Those are the routes that the Lions have to be able to use in order to free Calvin Johnson up because of the way they're playing him. You see the arm angle then by Matthew Stafford just to try to fit the throw in there, and he makes a lot of big throws with that arm all over the place, and that was a good chance to finally get Calvin Johnson involved.
And guy been dealing with a high ankle sprain, missed 3 games. Here's 3rd and 1. Lions trying to get back into it. And a carry that is enough for a first down by Joique Bell. Troy, this has been a good second half team. Detroit, this is now 5 games for the Lions where they have 1 first half touchdown. But Jim Caldwell in his first year with Detroit has watched his offense late win 3 games to help them along to this first place spot in the NFC North.
Well, he's seen it enough times that they never do lose confidence in their ability to come back. But in visiting with Jim Caldwell about it this week, he just said, hey, you know, you hate to have to rely on that so many times.
Hard to do it here. Bell loses a yard. So Green Bay is rolling. They're leading right now 14-10 with a game against the Vikings. So those two are tied atop the division. Earlier this year, Detroit beat Green Bay 19-7 on the 21st of September. And again, they'll meet at Lambeau week 17. Next 3 games for Detroit are good ones for the Lions. At home against Chicago on Thanksgiving, against Tampa Bay, against Minnesota, all at home. Here's Stafford in trouble. Pass downfield. The tight end is broken up, and a good play by Revis as Ebron was down there waiting for it. And Bill Belichick and Matt Patricia always seem to have their best on the guy Stafford's looking for.
Well, Vince Wilfork, he's the one who ruins this play. They've got a shot at Ebron down the field. They get the look they want, one-on-one against a guy who can get down the field and go up for the ball. Even though he is going up against Darrelle Revis, Vince Wilfork, for a big guy, is athletic, and he gets a tremendous inside push.
3rd pass breakup for Revis, 3rd and 11. Over the middle, pass caught, and fighting near first down yardage is Ross. Depends on the spot, and the line judge is going to mark him short, and there's an injury out on the field. That's Arrington. Big collision with Ross. Good catch. It's 4th down for Detroit. The Patriots hoping that Kyle Arrington is okay. Good throw by Stafford. Good catch. Arrington in on the stop. They'll check him. We'll take a break. Working on the neck of Kyle Arrington, who's been so good. Banged up on that tackle, but his effort stopped the first down. So on 4th and 1, here's the punt. Martin hits it, short punt. And Amendola's going to take it back. Flag is down. A couple of them, and it appears to be against New England. Bynes was complaining. Should have raised an 11-yard return. Hopefully Arrington is okay. A big part of this secondary for Matt Patricia is back there rubbing his head, and obviously Bill Belichick. Well, this Lions defense made a play. Hedebo with an interception last time New England had it, his second of the year, and they're going to have to come up with something again in an 18-point game. Here's Correnti.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the receiving team during the return of the kick. Holding, return team number 31. This penalty is accepted. Thank you. The other penalty is illegal block in the back, return team number 38, and this penalty is declined. It'll be first down for New England when we return.
It's like when you used to do Shakespeare, Troy, in high school. Line, please. To be or not to be. That line, please. Patriots have it, up 18. First down from the 25 for New England.
Whiskey. 55 to Mike.
Heard the words risky and Rita from the line of scrimmage from Tom Brady, as LaFell makes the catch, a gain of 9.
Usually when you use our words like that, as you say, they came in and they said that ball was incomplete. But when you use our words, typically it means that you're directing the offensive line then in the direction of the right. And that's one of the code words that helps communicate that. As we take a look here on whether LaFell is, they went through and hit the ground. I know in visiting with Tom Brady, boy, he sure likes Brandon LaFell, especially after the ball gets in his hands.
Former Carolina Panther. Brady flush, just got rid of it. And he finds Wright, who is good for 3. Big pressure by Jason Jones.
Well, this is a big third down right now for this Detroit defense. They forced 3 and outs on the first 2 drives of the New England Patriots. Since that time, they have not been able to stop them except for the interception to start this half. Patriots have been awfully good on third down, converting over 70% against this defense,
including their last 5 in a row. Can they do it again? They're going for the big one to LaFell. Overthrown. But a flag is down on the far side. Edelman thinks he was held. And if it is a defensive hold, that's an automatic first down.
Holding, defense, number 29. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Cassius Vaughn.
Cassius Vaughn right here. I couldn't really tell if he was pulling him or if Julian Edelman was losing his footing as he went to the ground. Here was the shot down the field, had a step, but just overthrown. But a costly penalty then on Cassius Vaughn to help keep this drive alive for the Patriots.
This Detroit defense came in as the second best third down defense in the NFL. What a play and a big hit as Shane Vereen carries it, and DeAndre Levy came shooting through to make the stop, no gain.
Yeah, the Lions, I mean, they're good in so many areas. You know, #1 overall, top 5 in virtually every category. And you see what their season average has been, giving up just 290 yards on average. And today, the Patriots just about matched that in the first half.
Here's one to Vereen. How good is he out of the backfield? That's his specialty. And Shane Vereen good for 12. Good throw by Brady.
We've seen that combination with Vereen out of the backfield. They put Edelman in the backfield, and how that has impacted then the defense. It's helped free up Gronkowski in the seam there in the first half. This time they turned Vereen loose to the flat. He got beat so many times on the seam, they drew all their attention there, and then Vereen's wide open.
Look at that, 13 plays of 10 or more yards. Here's Blunt. LeGarrette just chewing up yards. And they're happy to have him back. A first down inside the 35 to the 32.
Tom Brady was so excited about bringing him back. This organization has a history with him. They like him. He was productive for them. He said last year when he played, he would watch, and defensive players just didn't want to tackle this guy. 250 pounds, and he is powerful, and you see some of that power on that run.
Had just 266 yards and 2 touchdowns this year with the Steelers. Left the game early, just walked off the field, and Mike Tomlin cut him. That happened on Tuesday, and on Thursday, the Patriots brought him back on a 2-year deal. He makes the minimum this year, has a chance with incentives to make decent money next year. But with his return, it's been a tough day for fantasy owners of Jonas Gray after that big week last week. He hasn't seen the field.
Well, LeGarrette Blount, he was holding out wanting to get number 29. It's what he wore last year. He was wearing number 60 on Friday in practice. Heck, I thought he was an offensive lineman. I mean, this guy, he's got some size to him.
2nd and 9. Brady. Gronkowski, a lot of contact, no flags, and now one comes in. The officials were all looking at each other, and eventually one sailed through the air. That's Levy, no doubt.
You know, then there's a hit at the end of that play. One of the ones that knocks Brady to the ground, Jason Jones. You know, Rob Gronkowski, we see him running the route. He takes a lot of punishment, and some of it is because he just simply won't go to the ground when he has the ball in his hands.
There are fouls against both teams on the play that will offset. Holding, defense number 54. Pass interference, offense number 87. By rule, these penalties will offset. Repeat, 2nd down.
So we go back to 2nd and 9 as Gronkowski not happy to learn he's guilty of offensive pass interference. Where?
Well, Levy grabs him, but Gronkowski comes in. I mean, he's looking for contact.
Oh, yeah.
He was looking for contact on both of those.
Brady's going to flow one. Edelman. He did not make the catch. Did all he could. But that ball hit the ground.
He almost makes an unbelievable catch, laying out for the ball, and hey, they come up, they play him man-to-man, and he is so quick off the line of scrimmage. He has a heck of a release, which gives him a step, and Tom Brady just misses him. You see the release off the ball. It's an outstanding job by Julian Edelman.
He's still stretching out the neck that he injured on the hit on the fake reverse. DeAndre Levy just crushed him. Here is LaFell, and on 3rd down, Brandon LaFell is good for 6. Glover Quinn with a stop, and that forces a 4th down. So if nothing else, the Detroit defense keeps the Patriots out of the end zone, forcing the field goal try as Brady is now over 300 yards passing for the 63rd time in his career.
Now they're holding them here to a field goal. If they get the 3 points or not, they keep it a 3-possession game. So that was a big stop on 3rd down.
43-yard try by Gostkowski. Good snap, good hold, good kick. And 3 more on the board put up by the Patriots, who now lead 27-6, 3rd quarter. Julian Edelman almost came up with a touchdown catch. The Patriots have to settle for 3. 21-point game now with 5:05 left in the 3rd quarter. See Kyle Arrington, he is back. That's a good sign for the Patriots. Here's Ross. He will bring it out. And Jeremy Ross is going to take it out across the 20. Casillas on the tackle. Exactly 5 to go. Lions trying to figure it out, down 21. Big left tackle for the Lions. Riley Reef has been out since the first series. You see the leaders flash by. All that by Tate was early. We haven't said his name in a while, and Cornelius Lucas is still out at left tackle, the rookie. Pettigrew with a block. Pass is broken up. And there he is was again Rebus as he forced it out of the hands of Golden Tate.
The secondary for the Patriots has been really good here this afternoon. Darrelle Revis, hard to free him up, and even though Golden Tate in the early going of this game was able to make some plays, haven't been able to get the ball to him. And Calvin Johnson, again, they're doubling him. Brandon Browner, they help with the safety. A lot of different looks. Someone else has got to step up. Everywhere else, it's one-on-one. Kyle Arrington's banged up a little bit back on the field, but got to take advantage of the one-on-one looks.
Pass incomplete. Tate out there. Ross as well. Golden Tate does not have a catch since the first play of the second quarter, and now it's 3rd and 10.
It looked like Golden Tate and Jeremy Ross, they ran into each other on that route. Hard enough getting open against Patriots with this secondary, let alone when you're running into each other.
Well, you just, for a guy like Ross trying to get off the line of scrimmage with Brandon Browner right in his face, it was like a linebacker.
Well, Eric Ebron, even though he's been hurt, he's had the hamstring injury, this is why he was drafted. You know, to me, he's the guy who creates some matchup problems on the linebackers along with Theo Riddick.
3rd down and 10. Stafford slings it incomplete, and it's 3 and out. Ebron the intended target, and Stafford has been under pressure all day.
Now the New England Patriots bring pressure, and Matthew Stafford has to rush to throw. Theo Riddick unable to make a big block there in the backfield to help out his quarterback.
Well, you know they're going to be talking to Detroit about the fact the Lions now have gone 18 possessions without a touchdown. A team that was seemingly loaded with talent coming into the season. They do have injuries on the offensive line, but it's been too long. Penalty flag is down. Edelman is on the loose, but a flag is down. Edelman is going to dive for the touchdown. When a flag is thrown back at the spot where Edelman caught the punt. And this one, it appears, is coming back. 74-yard return going to be wiped away.
Tell you what, Joe, whether it's wiped away or not, that's embarrassing by the Lions at the end of this play.
Illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 23. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
They get Patrick Chung. We'll try and find it with Fuller downfield. And there's the shove. That drew the flag. Edelman. What a game he's had. What a player he's become here in New England. Patriots have it up 21. Here's the end of that punt return by Edelman that was erased because of a penalty.
That's terrible effort. It's one thing for the punter, Sam Martin, not being able to get him out of bounds, but then you've got Julian Stanford and Issa Abdul-Caboose. Neither of those guys can knock him out with the boundary right there.
Here's Vereen. Vereen is tripped up. A gain of just 2 as George Johnson made the tackle.
Yeah, you talked earlier, Joe, about the start last year, 6-3. They finished 7-9, and Lions fans and everybody wanting to know if this is going to be the same old Lions from a year ago and other seasons. And, you know, they say this is different, that Jim Caldwell has changed the culture, and that's not going to happen. But a tough loss last week when the defense only gives up 14 points. It's hard to win here in New England. But this hasn't been much of an effort, really, on either side of the ball.
Brady's completed 30 passes, now 31 as Vereen is dragged down. Good play. And there's George Johnson again. Let's go to Joel Klatt with a game break.
All right, Joe, last week it was bad to be a Colt, right? Patriots handled Indianapolis, but today it's good to be T.Y. Hilton. He had a baby girl early this morning, and now a 73-yard TD catch from Andrew Luck. Colts up 20-3 over Jacksonville. Back to New England. Joe, Troy, and Aaron.
Nice little celebration by Hilton, who was shut down last week by Arrington.
I know who gets that ball.
3rd down and 12. Brady throws low for Gronkowski. Short of 1st down yardage anyway, and good work by the Detroit defense for the first time in a while, a 3 and out.
Yeah, so here defensively, you know, they get the penalty, the block in the back, which eliminates the big return by Edelman, but defensively, they got the interception. They've given up the 3 points. they've come out at halftime and actually have held up okay. They've just got to be able to get something out of this offense.
How about Brady? 43 pass attempts, no sacks for the Lions defense. They had no sacks last week at Arizona. That was the first time this year. Like to break that string. Fair catch, and it's eventually hauled in by Ross. After a big upset last week, the quarterfinals continue. Two more fighters step into the octagon, looking to keep their dream of a championship alive. It's an all-new episode of The Ultimate Fighter. It's Wednesday at 10 Eastern and Pacific on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. So now with under 3 to go, third quarter. The ball is at the 35. Looking for a little life. Matthew Stafford and the Lions offensively. It's Pettigrew that was in motion. He doesn't have a catch today. Been bothered by a bad foot. There's Ebron, and he drops it. So they finally get one to him behind the defense, and the rookie Eric Ebron could not make the catch.
No, he runs a good route. You see the crossing route, and it allows him to get freed up. You know, Stafford, you'd like to get that ball out in front of him more so he could keep running, but it hits him right in the stomach, and you know that's a play that you catch. That's what you're paid to do, and they've had too many opportunities when they finally do free somebody up that they haven't been able to secure the ball.
Here's a toss to Bell, running right. Runs into the offensive lineman in front of him. That was Travis Swanson, the rookie, who's starting at right guard. A gain of 4, third down and 6 coming. Swanson's playing in place of the injured Larry Warford, who started the first 9 games at right guard, but he is inactive. Second straight week out with a bad left knee. And there it is, 18 straight possessions without a touchdown. Right now they just want a first down. Four-man rush. Stafford is going to run and get it. He was pointing to Bell to take off down the field, and Matthew Stafford picks it up with his legs, a gain of 10.
Well, Calvin Johnson's going to run the shallow crossing route. You see how they pick him up. Jacked him pretty good. Yeah, Jamie Collins, the linebacker. Matthew Stafford does an excellent job because there's nowhere to go with the ball. You know, people have talked about Matthew Stafford's year, and yeah, it has been inconsistent, but you know, how should it not be? Considering all that's happened and just watching this game here today, he has not gotten a lot of help. Guys have dropped balls, have not been able to run the football. Whatever they have been able to do, he's been doing on his own, pretty much.
Four-man rush. Here's one floated for Fourier. Incomplete. And you can speak to it as well as anybody. When an offense can't run the ball, what it does to a quarterback and an attack when it's basically one-dimensional. This Lions team can't run it.
Well, when they're taking away your number one guy in Calvin Johnson, which teams can do. I mean, Calvin Johnson's had a great career, and he's able to do things even when they put 2 guys on him. But these are exceptional players. And then you've got Darrelle Revis, who for the most part has been on Golden Tate. That's why I've always said, to me, the third guy in your offense is the one who really makes the difference. And right now, they don't have that guy.
Here's Bell. Matthew Stafford, by the way, is just 10 for 28 in this game. They're saying the ball came out, but Detroit keeps it. That means Stafford is completing passes at 36% against New England's defense.
Yeah, well, you know, Reggie Bush, who is not active today, he's missed time, but he's one of those guys who could really create an advantageous matchup for the Lions. You know, whether they put him in the slot, have him run routes, or have him run routes from the backfield. Theo Reddick is one of those guys who's capable of doing that too. Eric Ebron is as well. Just hasn't had a lot of experience. He had the one drop moments ago.
The numbers on third down. Stafford backs up, throws, what a catch by Calvin Johnson. He was going to the ground and somehow got his hands up and hauled it in.
This is an unbelievable throw, and it's even a better catch. And he secures it all the way to the ground. That's really impressive. The ball does hit the ground. It looked to me like he had possession of it, Joe. I don't know that it moved enough. I don't know. It moved a little bit. That'll be interesting to see if Bill Belichick decides to challenge it. But that's a heck of an effort by Calvin Johnson.
No flag thrown by Belichick yet. Snap is away. There will be no challenge. Here's Bell. Nothing on the ground as Chung makes the stop. Lions need a score, and they need to get it into the end zone. What a catch. What an effort by Calvin Johnson as we go to the fourth quarter. Back after this from your local Fox station in a 21-point game. We begin the fourth quarter, second down for the Lions, down 21. Flags and
false start. Offense, number 51 with a head bob. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
They get Dominic Raiola, who was a second-round pick in 2001.
That's a veteran move there. Watch Dominic Raiola.
Dominic, number 2 in franchise history in games played. This is 215. And that's what drew the flag.
Yeah, I thought he did it a couple times. I don't agree with that call. You saw Raiola questioning the call. I agree with him. I don't think that should have been a penalty.
Second down and 14 now. Stafford, and the rookie wasn't looking for it. They got to be really frustrated. I know he's missed time, but Eric Ebron doesn't even get his head around to look for the throw.
No, he had a good release off the line of scrimmage, too. It's man-to-man. He's in the seam. It's exactly what you want. It's what Matthew Stafford wanted. He gets off. He's got a step, and just a lack of practice time. He's a young guy, and he just, with the injury, it's hard enough for these young players, but when you miss that much time, it makes it really difficult.
Second game back, missed 3 games with a bad hamstring. He's had a drop, now wasn't looking for the throw. Third and 14. Back out of a blitz, pass for Johnson, broken up. Good play defensively, and it was Browner.
I think Matthew Stafford is just knowing that this is the one guy that he can really rely on, and he put the ball, even with help. Stafford puts this ball the only place that he could possibly put it. Looked like Browner may have gotten a hand on it. The Detroit Lions are going for it here on fourth down.
But they don't have the play in yet. They're going to have to take a timeout. Before a 4th and 14. Week 12 continues later today on CBS, and for some of you on Fox, then tonight it's Sunday Night Football on NBC. That matchup of the Cowboys at the Giants. Tune in tomorrow. Monday Night Football on ESPN. The Ravens against the Saints. The Saints have dropped 2 in a row at home, and despite being 2 games under 500, start Week 12 tied for first in the South.
Well, yeah, that's South. Everybody's alive, and like you said, you know, Sean Payton, of course, he missed that 1 year. The Saints had not lost a game at home since 2010 when they lost to the 49ers a few weeks ago, and then they come right back and lose another one at home the following week.
So they take on Baltimore tomorrow night. Atlanta is at home against Cleveland, but as you said, Carolina's on a bye. They're 3-7-1. They're right there. Heck, Tampa Bay is only 2 games out of first place, although they're losing today at Chicago by 11.
That might knock them out of the playoff picture.
Here's Prater. They decide to forget going for it on 4th down. Prater hits it and hits it well. 49 yards to make it an 18-point game here at Gillette Stadium as we have just begun the 4th. Weather is just beautiful in this great American city on Sunday, November 23rd, Week 12. And when fans make the trip to Foxborough, they expect to see a win, and they usually get to see a win. Randy Moss, our Randy Moss, sat down with Tom Brady this week. Here's a bit of it.
You don't really experience those things in September when you lose to Kansas City, but you see what you're all about, this time of year. And there's certain teams that go the other direction. There's certain teams that rise to the occasion, and hopefully we're one of those teams that rise to the occasion.
Well, they have not had the consistent deep threat since Randy Moss left. But Tom Brady, they know how to finish. They know how to close. And they just win here at home. Brady throws, and he's got a completion to Julian Edelman. Troy, Tom Brady has the all-time #1 winning percentage in the history of the league. And including the playoffs, he's 174 and 53, 121 games over 500.
Well, he's one of the game's great competitors. I mean, you think about the partnership that he and Bill Belichick have had. Tom Brady has benefited by having a head coach who wants to do nothing but coach football, but Bill Belichick probably has been more of the beneficiary of that relationship, having Tom Brady as his quarterback.
Second down and 4, and what a catch. LaFell, and then he dropped it. Lost it going to the ground. Good effort. Let's check in with Joe Klatt with a game break.
All right, Joe, speaking of great quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, he's been on a tear lately. And Troy, it's the stat patter. A shovel pass to Eddie Lacy, 10 yards for the touchdown. Pack up 24-13. You love the shovel pass, Troy.
The stat pattern. That comes from a quarterback. Joel knows what that's about. I didn't have many stat patters.
You were fighting against those every week. Here's a try. And they're going to say a catch. Edelman with a diving effort. They're going to mark him down just shy of first down yardage. And no. You can see that from here. Now, Jim Caldwell has not challenged a play. It's 4th down right now. And now they're going to switch out and bring the punt team on. I was going to say, if they were going to go for it, you got to challenge that play. But it's 4th down.
I think Bill Belichick waited to maybe make sure he did have to challenge it.
And now we will get the challenge. But they're going to have the conversation here. Even with the catch, it's 4th down. Do you want to challenge it?
Challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass.
I guess the answer to that is yes, and why not? That was not a completion. And Jim Caldwell with his first challenge. That will not stand as a catch. 4th down either way. How about a little peek inside the hood as Tony Corrente looks at it. They are in communication this year for the first time with the league back in New York. Clearly not a catch, but this is taking a while, and that leads you to believe now they're looking at where the ball was snapped, so they're going to go back, and this will be a successful challenge for Jim Caldwell. He'll be 1 for 1, but I liked what you said during the break, which was when there was initially ruled a catch, Bill Belichick kept his offense out there and almost forced the hand of Jim Caldwell to challenge it.
He was on the sidelines. It didn't look like he wanted to have to throw the flag, but knew he had to.
After review, the pass was incomplete. It will be 4th down and 4 at the 26-yard line. With the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 14:03. 14:03. Thank you.
You said Tony Corrente with a look inside the hood, not to be confused with a look inside the hoodie, because that never happens, Joe.
No, it's hard to get in there. The hoodie. Did you call it a hoodie before we were all aware of that from Bill Belichick?
Probably.
It's a sweatshirt, right? No? A hoodie. There it is. It's like he's known for that. It's like
it's #1 selling merchandise. They're at the gift shop, pro shop here at Gillette Stadium.
With the cutoff sleeves. Oh, he's going full sleeves here today. It's like the clock around Flavor Flav's neck. You want to be known for something. There you go. Bill Belichick, by the way, is known for not the hoodie, but for success and championships. And let's talk about the big picture and talk about the NFC. I mean, week after week, we don't know where we're going with the overall playoff picture. Green Bay has extended their lead. it looks like at the end of the day, the Packers will have a clear lead in the NFC North.
Well, the Packers are red hot. We had a chance to see them last week, and Aaron Rodgers is playing as well as any quarterback in football, but this is where it usually gets exciting for the Detroit Lions. We've seen this a lot of times from Matthew Stafford. I wouldn't count him out.
They still have yet to get into the end zone. And this one's batted down to the line of scrimmage, and just the body language. We saw it with Calvin Johnson going to break the last time the Lions had it. We've seen Ebron with a drop and then not getting his head around. And Calvin Johnson, his frustration because he just has not really been involved for the most part.
How do you think Joe Lombardi feels? Trying to call plays and free these guys up.
They cut down their call sheet and their playbook by 20% coming into this game. That hasn't worked either. Here is a flag, the coverage by Browner, and that'll be against New England. Coverage on Calvin Johnson.
This is clearly at the top of this route when Calvin Johnson trying to work back to Stafford, and Brandon Browner had a hold of the jersey on top of the shoulder pass.
Defense number 39. Automatic first down.
That's the 10th penalty against the Patriots since their season average. Let's go down to Aaron Andrews.
You mentioned the body language of the Lions. You know, the offense running into the locker room at halftime, hanging their heads. And then, as Troy stated, defense playing pretty well here in the second half. You think that fire them up. There's just been no expression, no life, no energy out of these guys. I've covered Matthew Stafford even college. I know he's not a rah-rah guy, but everyone around him, just nothing has changed from this half to the first half.
But a lot of teams that have come to Gillette had that same feel on this near sideline. There's a first place club, and now just flipping it. A flag is thrown. Joyke Bell was close to where the ball came down, but it's against Detroit with illegal use of the hands.
Illegal use of the hands. Hands to the face, actually to the chin of the defender. Number 77. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, Matthew Stafford, Joe, had a chance to get the ball to Calvin Johnson right away, but he knows he needs some big chunks, down 3 scores. So he's trying to take a deep shot to the post to Corey Fuller, and just about the time he was going to turn it loose is when the Patriots got to him with the rush.
They get Lucas, the rookie, who's taken over for Reef. For the hands to the chin. Big pressure by Akeem Ayers that forced that throw and that little flip from Matthew Stafford. Underneath it's Tate, so he gets back involved, makes a nice move. And Golden Tate, who's usually so good after the catch, that's really his forte. He went right around Chung. He has almost as many yards after the catch as Doug Baldwin has all year as a leading receiver for Seattle, just total receiving yards.
Yeah, there's a look at Joe Lombardi, the offensive coordinator. You know, Golden Tate, I said earlier, he looks better on Sunday than he does the other 6 days of the week, and you know that's not a knock. It's a real compliment, because when he puts the pads on, he does those things with the ball in his hands that you don't see on the practice field, how great of a competitor he is.
2nd and 6, pressure. Ayers again, and trying to throw back across the field in the direction of Bell. Incomplete. Ninkovich there as well.
Just good coverage down the field. I mean, the attention that 81 draws, and you see Darrelle Revis then on Golden Tate, and Matthew Stafford's trying to get the ball to his playmakers, and then you know, this offensive line, they had protection there, enough protection, but because of the coverage, Matthew Stafford had to just try to keep the play alive as best he could.
3rd down and 6. Pass is dropped into the chest of Calvin Johnson, knocked away by Brandon Browner. It's 4th down, and Detroit is compelled to go for it here in the 4th quarter, down 27-9.
Yeah, no choice now. They settled for the field goal the last time instead of going for it on 4th and long, which I think was the right call, and I think this is the right call. They have no choice but to go for it. Calvin Johnson finally gets it. He's going to be close, probably picks up the first down. He would have caught it just short, but his momentum likely picks it up had he been able to catch the ball.
Browner knocked it away, 4th and 6. Timeout taken before the snap by New England. By the way, Matthew Stafford, his worst completion percentage in a game is 40%. 10 for 25 last year at Philadelphia in December. Today, 34%. 12 out of 35. So he's had some drops. He's been under pressure. He's been frustrated. Thanksgiving. Can't wait. A good matchup. The Philadelphia Eagles, they are running away with their game last check at home against Tennessee, against the Dallas Cowboys. And Dallas and Philadelphia tied on top in the NFC East, and Dallas plays tonight up in Jersey against the Giants.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to be an easy game. Even though the Giants have been struggling, anytime you're playing a division rival like that on the road, primetime game, I think it's going to be a heck of a ball game there in the Meadowlands. But then we get a chance to see these two heavyweights square off on Thursday, which is obviously going to go a long way in helping determine who's going to win that division.
Quick snap. Stafford throws, and there's a rookie, Ebron. He makes a nice catch backing up, and after an earlier drop, this was a good catch by Eric Ebron.
Dante Hightower, he gets the pressure on Stafford, but not a bad route there by Ebron, and Matthew Stafford lays it out there before absorbing that hit from Hightower. An outstanding job. Matthew Stafford, he's going to be spending some time in the hot tub next week.
He is tough. He's proven that. He did that his rookie year, coming off the sideline with a separated shoulder to beat the Browns. 6th year in the NFL, he's only 26. Lions need a big play. There's a nice completion. That's Ross. Another first down for Detroit as the Lions are going to try to make some noise here in the fourth quarter.
It's a good throw by Matthew Stafford. He keeps it away, protects the receiver. Ross likes that.
Stafford doing all he can. He underthrows Riddick. Riddick had found a hole in the defense, but Stafford couldn't get it to him. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that's one that Stafford wishes he had back, because he really tried to set his feet. He just didn't get enough on it. Hey, they're able to come away with a touchdown on this drive. Not that Tom Brady and company can't handle a little pressure, but they certainly start to apply a little bit.
2nd and 10. Stafford, end zone. Ross with a juggle and a drop. Almost pulled it in. Good coverage by Logan Ryan with his very diverse and deep secondary for the Patriots.
Boy, they are deep. Logan Ryan gave up a couple plays last week to the Indianapolis Colts. Ross has an opportunity, a really well-thrown ball by Matthew Stafford. It just, Joe, nobody's just really been able. We saw the one Calvin Johnson made there along that sideline. But nobody other than that one play has really been able to make the tough catch in this game.
Third down and 10. Ebron, the intended target. And now, here we go again. It'll be 4th down. It is an 18-point game. And when you know you have Tom Brady, you come into a game, if you're Matthew Stafford, knowing that you're going against a scoring machine on the other side with the way the Patriots are rolling, you've got to get touchdowns. And it's been a while for Detroit.
Right now they need a first down.
4th and 10. Kind of slow off the snap. It's up to the legs of Stafford, and he is going to slide short of first down yardage. You can see the line judge shake his head.
I don't think he got it, Joe. From where he started his slide, he then is protected. He gave himself up, and I think it's a good spot, maybe even a generous spot.
Once that slide starts and a part of the body hits the turf, play is dead. And so is that Lions drive. Coming up inches short on that slide was Matthew Stafford. Another throw from Brady, and it's LaFell. Matthew Stafford, Troy, had it, but elected to slide and in essence gave up the first down.
Well, that was a big mistake by Matthew Stafford, and he knew it. I mean, as soon as he got up, he knew that he should never have slid. He could have just run, and it didn't look like he was going to take any punishment, but that's a situation in the game. You've got to give yourself up, and you got to go get the first down.
Here's Gronkowski with a first down, and the Patriots are just sitting on it. As Tahir Whitehead makes the tackle, and there's Stafford, who let a first down slide away.
I was really surprised, too, because when he tucked it, I mean, he was determined that he was going to get it. Fourth down, knew what he had to do.
It's a career low in the completion percentage, 35%.
Well, that's coming off. That's on the heels of his worst game of the season, you know, in last week's loss to the Arizona Cardinals.
Good protection and good work defensively as Ehedebo almost had his second pick. Check in with Joel Klatt with a game break.
All right, Joe, not all bad news for Lions fans because Minnesota is coming back. Teddy Bridgewater, his second touchdown pass of the day. This one to Greg Jennings from 5 yards out. 2-point conversion was good. It's a 3-point game under 4 minutes. Joe, Troy, and Aaron.
Okay, so pressure on Green Bay's offense. And they usually handle pressure well. Good game there. 2nd and 10. Hand off to Vereen. He's tackled from behind by Levy. That was actually Ziggy Ansah. And a gain of 3. There's Jonas Gray. I mean, he's going to need a new alarm clock. He's going to need a new phone charger. Whatever it is. Comes off a 201-yard game, and he hasn't sniffed the field.
Can you imagine what's going through his mind right now after the performance he had last week against the Colts? Over 200 yards rushing, and he made a mistake, and by all accounts he's a terrific young man, and made a mistake, and you know, he paid for it. I thought he would get in the game. I knew there would probably be some type of punishment, but the way this game's gone, they haven't needed him. You kind of wonder, are they going to need him the rest of the year? I don't know.
About a kid who went to Detroit Country Day, grew up as a huge fan of Barry Sanders. He's gone from a 4-touchdown day to the cover boy of Sports Illustrated for the Patriots to an oversleep to a show up to practice to a go home to a just stand here next to me.
Hey, you know what? I really admire what Bill Belichick has done. Let me tell you, there are few teams in this league that would have him standing on the sidelines the entire game.
Does it count as the SI cover jinx? Pass is caught by Gronkowski for a first down. Well, the success is obviously well documented with Robert Kraft, and we talked earlier about the shoes that he's wearing. Look at what this team has done. They built this stadium in 2002. Now the area around it is developed. They just dominate here at home, and that man is all smiles with his son Jonathan, and why not? Social media got on the fact that he was wearing tennis shoes with suits. Brady tripped on the turf on the first down handoff. We showed you earlier what he's wearing are Nike Air Force Ones, and they now have a retail version. All proceeds going to Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston. On sale on Monday at the Patriots Pro Shop. Nike in Boston, the Nike Town in Boston, and then Nike.com. That starts at 10 a.m. So the trend-setting Robert Kraft, a modern-day Zoolander. Here's Vereen.
Well, Joe, our league is better because of Bob Kraft, and there's others, you know, around the league that have made a real impact on this game. And you think about what he's done since he's taken over here as owner of the New England Patriots. This stadium that we're broadcasting this game from, no public money in building this stadium, and one of the real gentlemen in this league, and it's a real pleasure to come here. We don't get to come here often. We always get a chance to go by and visit with him, and it's one of the highlights of the trip here to Foxborough.
We don't come here enough. 3rd down and 14. Here is Edelman out on the edge. He's got a long way to go, and he won't get there. 4th down coming up as Ansah makes the tackle. Talked a lot about New England. Lions fans are saying, yes, you have. Talked too much about New England. But let's talk about Detroit. I still think schedule-wise it's all in front of them. They have a golden opportunity the next 3 weeks where they'll be a home favorite against Chicago. That's on Thanksgiving. And then against Tampa Bay, and then against the Vikings. They're in a good spot, despite what looks to be back-to-back losses in Arizona and here in New England. Allen punts it. Lions stay away. And it will roll out of bounds at the 16. Take a break, come back. And more work to be done for Matthew Stafford with his team down 18. They're great sports fans up here, whether for the Red Sox, whether for the Patriots. They've had some fun here today and over this stretch since Tom Brady took over back in 2001. 5 Super Bowls, 3 wins. Stafford throws, pass caught. Calvin Johnson first down. Meanwhile, the Lions have not made an appearance in a Super Bowl. The only franchise existing for the entire Super Bowl era with no Super Bowl appearance. So they are starved for it in Detroit. A 7-3 start, staring at 7-4. And they will be in second place at the end of the day. Stafford got hit, and now he gets picked. It's Logan Ryan. Penalty flag after the interception. A lateral to Browner. And Brandon Browner can't make it to the 45. A hit by Jamie Collins and an interception thrown by Matthew Stafford. The flag came after the pick.
See Jamie Collins as he comes around and gets freed up, and Cornelius Lucas again, who's in the game because of Riley Reif's injury.
After the interception of the pass, personal foul, illegal low block against New England. 15-yard penalty, first down.
You can see Duron Harmon that came in low. That's what got the flag. But for Logan Ryan, his second interception. And when you say a guy like Ryan, you think Darrelle Revis, you think Brandon Browner, Kyle Arrington's been so good, Devin McCourty, Patrick Chung is all over the place. Now Logan Ryan, they have a lot of ways they can go.
Yeah, and even Darrelle Revis, in visiting with him, he said that they call themselves the hybrids because they all are interchangeable. They both can play inside. I mean, they all can play inside. They all can play outside. They can match up against anybody that they face. It's a real luxury that they have. There on that defense, Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator, is benefiting from all the pieces he has to work with.
Here's Blunt. He's back. Levy on the tackle after a carry of 33 yards.
Well, Julian Stanford, he gets an opportunity to try to make a play in the backfield. Not easy to do against LeGarrette Blount. He's a powerful runner, and Tom Brady was saying just the other day, last year, how many runs like this LeGarrette Blount had. You know, you think of him as just an inside power back because of his size, but last year he had a number of big runs down the field like what we just saw.
Well, he had a 4-touchdown game in the playoffs against Indianapolis, a 4th one. The last one was 73 yards. So the big guy can run. Levy, who made the stop on the long run, is in there on that tackle after a gain of 2 on Blount.
Well, you talked about it a little bit earlier, Joe, in that first half. You know, LeGarrette Blount, essentially because of punishment reasons, gets released by the Pittsburgh Steelers and finds himself a nice home here in New England with a winning team and a quarterback, Tom Brady. Pretty good situation for him.
Yeah. And Jonas Gray, I think it's safe to say, picked the wrong week to oversleep.
I don't think anybody has to tell him that.
2nd and 8. Blunt. They've been able to reload the Patriots in season. Blunt the latest pickup, and he's had a nice return to New England. On their way to a 9-2 start are the Patriots. They'll be winners of 7 straight. You've got the Broncos leading the West after the Chiefs' loss on Thursday night. Cincinnati leading in the North, Indianapolis in the South. So they're the wild card leaders, but in the hunt, in the AFC, it is a wide open race for the extra playoff spots after the division leaders.
That was a huge loss for Kansas City.
Out in Oakland, first win for the Raiders. Sue makes the stop on Blunt, no game. You can hear him say, "Don't you run on me." And Ndamukong Suh, a free agent to be, changed agents. Who knows if next year he'll be in a Lions uniform.
Well, this Lions defense, they got torched there in that first half. Tom Brady was able to drive the ball. They had 24 points, held them to just 3 points in this second half. An outstanding job. Just didn't get any help from the offense.
So let's look at the battle for the NFC North and the remaining schedules. There you go. For Detroit again at home against Chicago. Chicago, by the way, is, it appears, about to win at home against Tampa Bay. But they've got Chicago at home, Tampa Bay at home, Minnesota at home, then at Chicago, at Green Bay, where the division may very well come down to week 17. Detroit beat Green Bay at home earlier in the year. Then Green Bay, New England, Atlanta, at Buffalo, at Tampa Bay, and then that home game against Detroit. There's a look at the division with Green Bay posting a win moments ago in the Twin Cities.
Well, as long as Detroit can stay within 1 game of the Packers heading into the last week of the season, they control their own fate. But they do have an easier schedule, it appears. These last 2 weeks have been hard on them.
4th and 3, and pass is caught by Brandon LaFell. And now LaFell's slow to get up. See if he came down on the football or what. What a catch. And then he hit that hip against the turf, but he's up. So going for it on a 4th down play just to keep the football, and why not?
Yeah, why not? It's a 3-possession game. If they settle for the field goal still, that's what it is now. So it wasn't really a lot to gain by trying to go for the field goal. Maybe you get it blocked, you miss, you give the Lions great field position. Not much time, I understand, but they go for it on 4th down. And Brandon LaFell, I talked about it earlier. Tom Brady said he's never really had a receiver quite like this guy. Ball's in his hands. I mean, he becomes like a power running back, just bouncing off guys. And anytime you see someone coming off the field like that after they've landed on that shoulder, you start to think maybe it's some type of collarbone.
98-yard day for LaFell. Meanwhile, Brady, 38 of 53. 349 yards, has not been sacked. If he completes one more ball, he will tie his career high in a game as LeGarrette Blount carries forward for a minimal game. Darrell Tapp on the tackle. So no sacks, Troy, back-to-back weeks for Detroit.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's, it's one thing if you don't get sacks. It's another thing that you've got to be able to get pressure and hit the quarterback. And they were able to knock Brady around a little bit, but by and large, it was not overly effective in getting after Tom Brady, and that certainly is one of the reasons why Brady was able to do what he did.
We talked about the missed opportunities and some of the catches that were either dropped or just entirely missed, whether it's Fuller, Calvin Johnson, or Ebron, or Fourier, who had a touchdown catch in his hands, or Ross. I mean, Matthew Stafford needs a little help downfield.
Yeah, maybe it wouldn't have mattered, but you got to believe that this game would have looked entirely different had they been able to come away with touchdowns there in the early going of this game instead of having to settle for field goals.
Blunt's already got a touchdown of the game. 15 for 42 is Matthew Stafford in this game. So he and the Lions will leave here frustrated, coming up on 3 minutes left. 3rd down and goal for New England.
Well, sometimes you have a game like this, or the last couple of weeks, even though Matthew Stafford's been banged around a little bit, a short week, don't have time to dwell on this. They likely won't even watch this tape, which will be a good thing for the Lions. They'll move right into their preparations for Thanksgiving and see if they can't get back on the winning side.
Against Chicago on Thursday, the early game, they'll just go forward. Here's Blunt. Blunt on 3rd and goal is going to be brought down short of the end zone. Meanwhile, New England is on their way to beating their 4th divisional leader. They beat Cincinnati. They beat Denver. They beat Indianapolis by an average score of 43-19. And even though this is not, I guess, as lopsided, it's certainly been as one-sided. And going for it are the Patriots on 4th down, as we will get to the 2-minute warning here in Foxborough, Massachusetts, where the Patriots are all smiles. Jay-Z, how about that? Taking us to break. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left in the game, and Gostkowski will come on. He is looking for his 4th field goal of the game. He started the day 29 points shy of becoming the all-time leader for scoring for Patriots history. He's 4 for 4. A little chip shot, but a flag is down. 20-yard try, and we'll see if he has to do it again. He's walking away. He doesn't think so, as the Patriots are at 30 points yet again. 7th time this year, 4th straight game. They are rolling. Gostkowski is still walking away. He's the only one.
Personal foul. Defense number 99 hitting the snapper with his helmet. This creates an automatic 1st down.
So take the points off the board as C.J. Mosley comes in and hits Danny Aiken. So not at 30 points yet. The automatic 1st down, and Brady back to the field, but it seems only a matter of time with 1:57 left.
Well, we'll see whether or not the Patriots decide to try to come away with a touchdown, or if Tom Brady just starts taking a knee.
All the weapons. You see what's happened defensively for the Lions here today. They came in the #1 ranked defense in the NFL. They will not go out as the #1 ranked defense. They were Brady'd and blunted. Touchdown LeGarrette. And he gets up and shoves Tahir Whitehead. And so again, over 30 points. 4th straight game for New England, and I just don't see anybody slowing them down anytime soon.
No, you talked about it. The wins that they've had over the divisional leaders. The Lions in the NFC, obviously one of those, but in the AFC, the one that really got my attention, Joe, was the one last week. I mean, the other two against Cincinnati, against Denver here at Gillette Stadium, that win at Indianapolis and the way in which they were able to do it, that. Not that they haven't had some pretty impressive wins, but I think that got everybody's attention around the league.
It's the season high against the Lions. And this #1 ranked defense, 34 points put up by a smiling Tom Brady. Fox Sports Support's proud to work with Got Your 6, a campaign that creates opportunities to bring veterans and civilians together. It inspires Americans to understand the skills and values our veterans bring to our communities upon their return home. So nice to be partnered with them as we go through the rest of the 2014 season. We're in week 12, and before the kickoff, we'll check in with Joel Klatt with a game break.
Joe to Atlanta, where the Browns were down by 1. Hoyer goes 7 plays, 61 yards, and 44 seconds for the 37-yard Billy Cundiff pick for the win. And the Browns move to 7-4. Pretty good squad there. 26-24, guys.
They get Gordon back. Thanks, Joel. So 7-4. They get Gordon back. Hoyer continues to play well. Johnny Manziel continues to watch from the sideline. And Atlanta is 4-7.
Well, they've had some heartbreaking losses, including one to these Detroit Lions. But, yeah, can you imagine 11 weeks in Cleveland and Johnny Football has yet to have any impact?
Yeah, with all the quarterbacks that have had to come into games and all the injuries, Hoyer's playing great, and Manziel is in a Snickers commercial. That's about it. Well, here you go. Here, the Gobbler will be handed out on Thursday in Arlington, Texas. The game, we're on the air at 4 Eastern on Fox. A great matchup. certainly in the NFC East with Philadelphia playing at Dallas. I remember Dre Bly of the Lions is on that list. I do not remember who won the first one because it's really not that memorable.
Oh, the ever-evolving trophy of the Galloping Gobbler. That's a piece of its own.
How about this irony? Here is Riddick. Brought down from behind. We talked about this being the 14th anniversary to the day. Tom Brady's debut in the NFL in a regular season game, November 23rd, 2000. A game that was won 34-9 by Detroit. Now, 14 years later, flip it the other way, and after his first completion, Troy, which came on his third pass, talking about Tom Brady. New England takes a timeout. They're left with one. It was a 6-yard completion to Rod Rutledge. His third throw, and now 51,792 yards later, coming into today, one of the best quarterbacks in the history of this great game. Through the years, the hair. You talk about it. I don't even want to mention any of this stuff. Go ahead. The different looks of Tom Brady. No? Well, married to Giselle. Whatever. You got to keep it fresh. Who can blame him?
Well, he's one of the, I said it earlier, he's one of the great competitors, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game, but also one of the really great guys.
Yep. Really is. Never complains. Here is the tight end. It was the 10th overall selection this past draft, Ebron. And Eric catches the last 2 times they've thrown it his way. There's the passer rating. There's the day for Tom Brady. And you think back to that game that ended with him on the bench September 29th in Kansas City. And Jimmy Garoppolo in the game.
Start. Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
They get Waddle for the false start, and now since then they've won 7 straight.
I think everybody's been kind of waiting to see the crack, you know, in the dynasty, I guess, here in New England, and they thought they had got a glimpse of it against Kansas City. And a lot of people, you know, how about when they asked Bill Belichick following that game, you know, what the status was of Tom Brady going forward, and you know, hey, this guy's earned the right. He can have those performances for an entire year, and nobody should be questioning whether or not he's the starter or not.
Stafford slings it incomplete on second down. Did you know that you can find the Galloping Gobbler Award winners online, as Ed Svita, our statistician, did?
Svita, go back to sleep over there, would you?
Started with Emmitt Smith. And then Dre Bly, who was legitimately the only guy who was actually excited to win that award.
Who? Dre Bly? Yeah.
Dre Bly.
Yeah, well.
He came in like the conquering hero into the locker room after the game, holding it up, and his teammates were like, what is that? Here's Riddick on third down. He's across the 40, close to a first down, but short of it.
Well, I know John Madden is back there in the Bay Area watching this. We should bring back the turducken. Things seem to rock pretty good back when John was bringing out that, it was food, 8-legged bird or whatever it was.
It just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't sound appetizing.
I think it's all in the preparation. I had it once, and it was actually pretty good, and I tried it again another time, and that was the last time I tried it.
Our boss, Eric Shanks, still has those sent to him. He was on that crew with John Madden back in the day. 4th down and 1. Handoff for a first down to Riddick. 34-9. And another game without a touchdown for the Detroit Lions. I mean, that's hard to believe. I mean, I know they've had issues and offensive line is hurt and all that, but you got Stafford and Calvin Johnson and, you know, Golden Tate, and they've got tight ends. Here's Fuller. He comes up empty-handed. Maybe that could have broken that string, but now it's just stats, and this offense got to figure it out.
Well, I will tell you, though, Joe, as bad as it has looked.
Offense number 77 blocked the player to the ground, then drove himself on top of him. 15-yard penalty, remains first down.
Personal foul on Lucas.
Yeah, as it turns out, that it wasn't going to count anyway, but
Do a reset. It's 1st and 25 for those of you just joining us. It gets no more intense than this. 34-9 with 17 seconds left.
Yeah, you know, as bad as it's been for this offense, especially the last couple of weeks, it's amazing how quickly things can turn. It just takes one guy making a play. You know, whether that's Corey Fuller on that last one or Fourier there in the first quarter when he has an opportunity in the end zone. You know, they had opportunities and they failed to capitalize. And now next week or Thursday, if somebody steps up and makes a play, it's amazing how quickly you can regain that confidence, and they desperately need something.
They are in second place talking about the Lions. They, talking about the Patriots in this tremendous run, are in first place. And for the Patriots, 14th consecutive winning season. They have a lot of weapons. They have Brady. They have guys defensively. The biggest weapon for the Patriots, that man, Bill Belichick, future Hall of Famer. Another win. Back to recap.